Okay, so this will be part 3, and the date, of course, is January 16th. It's 1:01 p.m. So, continuing, I recognize how difficult it is for people to get a grasp on speaking or feeling or understanding their spirit guides. It takes time. It takes the repetitive nature of how they can connect with you for you to recognize the pattern of what it is they're saying. And for me, it's just taken forever. It's only recently that I put everything together, actually, to be able to understand this stuff. So be patient if you can't. Focus in on your physiology and what changes are going on. By design, you could be doing it, you could be even provoking physical changes in your body by the expression that naturally emanates out of your fingers, like mine, that causes all kinds of stuff that feels like bruises or spikes in the body, and it'll confuse you at first, and even the fae. I mean, the freaking things are pervs, man. I swear, I don't care what Jay says. They may be friendly, but they love to fill me up, and it's like, I don't need this kind of stuff. It's kind of funny, and they're just playing around, but when you're going through the throes of DNA ICUC change, you don't need this kind of distraction. They even bit me on I told you this before, they even bit me on the inside right leg in the thigh. And it's like, come on. There was a bruise. So, that's all interdimensional, right? But I think probably because I just said flake off. I haven't been back. And Jay has said that there are dogs or something walking around my environment. When we had a consult, he looked at my room on screen doing a Skype interview or a consult. I can't see that stuff. And maybe you can, which is great. I think people who are pineal energy based can see that stuff more than me. I'm solar plexus based. I feel more than anything else. So back to the spirit guides thing, you just have to be patient and explore all possibilities of what's going on inside of you that may relate or prove that they're contacting you. Now, here's something to really remember. You know that we're all comprised of different frequencies. There's an infinite amount of frequencies out there. And I believe that when my spirit guides, both the original and now the animal spirit guides, approached me, they were trying to figure out what I would be receptive of in their communicating, what style. I'm sure that there are people out there that receive visual communication. I don't, because of issues that I'll talk about in some other video. But they go through this testing period of tampering with us, trying to figure out what we would respond to. And I think that this is very important to pay attention to. It makes all the difference in the world how you come up to speed with hearing what they have to say, or commenting, or approving or disapproving what they have to say. So, until I intellectually recognize that was their mission to begin with, then I started to think about, well, as a person, how am I most receptive anyway to my environment? And it turned out to be my body. I've gone through primal therapy. I've gone in primal therapy through life regression. And, oh boy, if I got a video on that. Guys only will listen to this video. Boy, it changed me forever. It saved me. As well as Jay's crank up. The guy saved me. I've got to produce another video on that, how he saved me. And I'm serious. I'm not sucking up to him or playing into his favor. And I've told that to him to his face in a consult. I ain't sucking up to you. If he wants to remove my metaphysicality, hey, go for it. I paid my dues already, and I've given back to humanity with what information I've been able to convey so far. I think I'm more so out there than anybody else for whatever reason. I'm going to let him know and Deanna know in the nicest diplomatic way that it's a mistake that these people who have all this talent, what, 2,000 to 3,000 people have been cranked up, they're not producing videos. We all need each other. We need to pass on this information. And, Jay is expecting them to, he's pleaded forever for people to produce videos. And it's, their obligation. And Jay is too much of a nice guy. I would have slapped him on the side of the head and said, hey, do something, man. People want freebies this year. Anyway, I know I'm getting off the wall. But, okay, so this spiritual guide thing, it's the spiritual guides have tests, different ways of communicating with you. And whatever resounds in you, whatever they see that you link up to and recognize, they will continue using those frequencies on you. This is my belief. Whether it's right or wrong, I can't tell you for sure. But this is what I've come up with, and as my understanding of why they do the way they do. Now, I've seen on YouTube years ago of somebody who says that they communicate with spirit guides when they do something in an environment, like butterflies fly around or something falls off the shelf. Well, I've been there, done that. At the library, I made one book fall off a shelf by itself. It was sitting precariously on an edge, so maybe it just had something more to do with the vibration of the floor affecting the shelving to make the book fall. But nonetheless, it kind of freaked me out. Jay has had a video on this of people he's jacked up and stuff is flying off the shelf behind him, so it's there. And I already have tremendous issues with keeping a clear signal on my TV. I can't even tell you if, first I thought it was the energy, and it may be, but then it clears up and then comes back. So I don't know. It's sporadic. So I can't say for sure that I have anything to do with it. I'm not the be-all. I'm not the do-all. I'm just someone who's recognizing their own skill set and moving forward with it. So for anybody asking me advice, which I actually gave to Layers of Reality, that really nice person, she's been in she's had her crank up about the same time I had mine back in 2017. So for her even, it's been tough trying to figure out what's going on. I'm hoping that some of what I'm going to say will make sense to you people out there, and you're able to move forward. If you don't have communication with your spirit guide, at least look at the physiological side of things and how that could be the answer for you, and ultimately finding how they spirit the muscles and stuff in you to jump and say what they have to say to you. Now, what else can I say? There's always more to say about this stuff. It's easier, okay, I talked about, it's easier to speak with them, feel them, and oh, by the way, this is important. Appreciate your spirit guides, and tell them once in a while, and it might seem silly, but what do you got to lose? I typically, this is even more important in that when I get a communication from a spirit guide, I immediately put my finger up like that to acknowledge I'm receiving it, but also to let them know that they're on the right track. They're communicating with me in the right way, at least that I can see, and it gives it, I hate to use the word spirit, but it spirits them forward to continue using those frequencies. I mean, this is the best I can do. Jay Essex hasn't explained this at all. He wants us to find ownership in whatever we do, and he's not going to influence us in any way possible, and how to discover this stuff for ourselves. And I have to agree with that philosophy. In the beginning, I was pissed off that he wouldn't handhold me to showing me about stone energy. I had to learn that on my own, and I believe I have a video on stone energy and how I found it. I just put those small stones that I got from Deanna underneath my chin, and I flop around like a fish on the bed when I do that. I lay down when I do this because it's so strong. These spheres, I think they're just too strong for me, by the way. I think I'm going to sell them. They're just way too strong. If somebody wanted to kill me, I mean, this sounds off the wall to say. If somebody wanted to really kill me, and do it clandestinely, all they'd have to do is take the 10 spheres I have, put them in a room, and lock me in there. I'd be dead in 4 days. It just, I know this is off the wall. My apologies. That's me. I'm ultra sensitive to stone energy, and with the small stones that I got from Deanna, they're great. I can tolerate the strength of that energy. So, and I'm not, of course, saying for you other folks out there not to buy spheres, but there's sphere. I forget what they call them. The spheres that are half the size of a regular sphere. Start out with a small stone, see if you can tolerate it, then move up to the half sphere and then the full sphere. Oh, they call them clusters. That's what she calls them, clusters. They're half the price of the big sphere. I got a beneficiary check, and I just spent a lot of it on these spheres, thinking that I was doing the right thing. And I had Jay, I don't fault him for anything. Okay, I had him help me select the spheres I was going to pay for. So anything, I'm going to wrap this up. What time? It's 11 minutes. Anything I've gone through which has been more painful than not painful in my evolution of my metaphysical self is not the fault of J.S.6 or Deanna Anaya. They've done nothing but try to help me, come into my own. They can't anticipate all the stuff that's going to come to play after that essential primary crank up. And you understand, for you muggles out there who are listening, Jay is able to go into the head and intensify, break down the barriers of our brain that used to originally have, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, the metaphysical abilities that we're capable of having. So once he does that and everything else there in the brain, whatever it is, the pineal gland, and I forget the names. I should know them by now, huh? Then our body starts to change and our mindset changes, and the way we think changes. Everything changes. So I guess maybe I should call it a wrap. I've given everybody the essentials. This is a matter of practice, feeling if it's a physiological capability you have, feel the guys speak to you, then it takes time to get used to it, I guess. And I don't think anything of it, there's been some videos I've produced, and I would get a tap on the shoulder, so to speak, and pause to just recollect, what did I just say? Or what did I just think that provoked them to tell me something? And it's not just tinnitus. And that's another thing. I've got tinnitus. And Jay has said in the past, and I've had it since 2002, bilaterally. And he said in the past that's the ET's trying to contact me. Well, I've been in the SSP, so I don't know. I can't understand that chat at all. So, what else? Oh, I haven't talked about my experience with Lily. A few people have been cranked up. You've listened to Jay talk about Lily. Yeah, she came and she visited me. Talked about that in another video. That was incredible. If Jade were to contact me right now and say, I'll give you a month, 2 months, clean up your affairs, you're going to cross over. Yeah, tell me, where's the line? She exudes the metaphysical feeling more than what a mother, as Jade has said in the past, more than what a mother can just give you. It's just like, how can there be life in any other way than feeling this stuff? That's what she's all about. And that's what she's going to use to express to everybody when people start to cross over. Most Jay does his bucket list there. I think you DNAers, you understand what I'm referring to. Anyway, I better head on. And if I think of something else, I'll just slip it in another video. But for sure, you're gonna start to feel your spirit guides. That's their duty. That's what Jay has assigned us to. If you've been cranked up, supposed to help us out. And I've had complete allegiance, by the way, to my spirit guides, even though I wish they would be talking to me 24 hours a day. I'm just that kind of person. They may not be as prolific in their communicative offerings, but I'm sticking with them. I don't want them to have a bad report card with Jay Essex. So I think people know what I'm talking about. In any case, I'm going to head on, and I don't know whether I'm pretty much on target. I'm going on 16 minutes here. I'm going to head on, and I'm not sure whether I'll produce another video or not. But in any case, thank you for listening. All you people who've commented and contacted me, I appreciate it very much, and I'll do my best to respond. It just takes a bunch of time to do it, through the email system. So anyway, be kind.